Hi everyone, so in this video I'll be teaching you how to build your first hero section on Framer as a beginner, right? But this is a Figma design, so I'll be moving this design inside of Framer and we'll be designing it together through different media queries like the mobile screen, the tablet responsiveness, and also the web, right? So here is Figma, and like you all know, you can decide to design outside of Framer. Like you can design outside of Figma, you can move your designs from inside Figma to Framer, or you can use the Figma to Framer plugin to just copy and paste your design inside of Framer. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be trying the two methods, right? If I come here, if I just go to the plugin, you see Figma to HTML with Framer. So I'll click this and I should see copying, right? You see right here, you see copying already. So you can copy to clipboard, right? Copy to clipboard. So it said copied 99 layers. Paste in Framer. So now the next thing I can do is I can just go to Framer, right? Since it's the same email and all that, I'll just paste inside of Framer. I still don't know why this thing is happening. See, it's showing me something else that I copied from somewhere. I honestly don't know why this is happening because I didn't copy a PNG. I copied a design from Figma rather. See, and I don't know why that's how this is happening. But let's try again. Figma HTML to Figma, right? Copying all these layers. Click the button below to copy selected layers that you want to pass in Figma. So copy to clipboard, right? That's what we're doing. And I'm supposed to just paste inside of here. This is what I'm saying. Can you see? It's copying something else entirely. I honestly have no idea what this is, why this is happening. But I would say that that's the most reason why I like to build. Like I like to build directly from Figma. I don't like to import. Sometimes you just import. When you import, some of this problem, like when you use the plugin, some of these problems happen every now and then. I honestly don't know if there's a glitch in Framer's plugin or not, but this is not working today. So regarding whatever has happened, we just build manually, right? Just like I said earlier, we build manually. So this is our Figma design. So first thing we'll see is we'll look for all of the details on this design. See, we see, okay, this is our background. Our background is black, right? Then we have the glow, which is the light beam. This light beam, if I turn it off now, you see it's not going to be there again. So that's the light beam, right? It's an asset. Then we also have another asset below, which is another light beam, right? Then we have the text on its own. Then we have this section that says join free webinar. Then we have the hero text, the body text, and then the buttons, right? The two buttons. So this is really clean. So now what do we do? Right, since we're not able to export our designs into Framer directly, we just build from scratch. So our first background, this is the color, right? We just come here and copy it. I'll go to Framer. First thing I do on Framer is to set up my file, right? I come here, I say I'm designing the crypto website or hero section, right? And I'm done. So now the number one thing I always do when I come to my design is I make my desktop 1400 or 1440, anyone that works for you, right? That's what I do first, and I set up other screen sizes, tablet and phone, right? Sometimes I do one extra desktop, but for the sake of this tutorial I'll just do these three, right? So this one is desktop and this is the one that we're going to focus on the most, right? So now we'll move back to our Figma. Like I said before, our background is this, so we'll just copy this. I'll move into Framer. So come here, we'll just paste our fill color inside of here. Normally we're supposed to set up properly, but because this is a just one-off tutorial, I'm not setting up anything. So can you see that my background has changed? This is my background right now. And if you come to Figma, you realize that if I turn off this beam light, you see that our background is just the same, right? So that is the starting point. Then we already have this sorted. So we're just going to start with our hero section, our navigation rather. So to come to our navigation, let me first download my my logo. All right, let me first download my logo first. Let me just export my logo and see what's the name of the logo again. Logo container, export as SVG, right? I'll just save. So this is done. So I go there, I go to my crypto page, then I'll also look at my navigation, right? I like to check, since we're not importing, or we're not able to import directly on inside of Framer, we'll just check properly. See the height of our navigation. See the height. The height is 44.31, right? 44.31. So number one thing we do is to first create a frame, right? Then we do this. Then again, if you watched my other tutorial of when I explained getting started in Framer, you realize I said the first thing you should always do when you already have a container like this or your canvas like this is to click on layout. The reason why we're clicking on layout is that it makes it a stack, and it allows you to start working properly. Before, when there was no layout, I could move this guy anywhere that I wanted. But now that I have a stack, I can't move it anywhere again. So now we are looking at the height. Don't let us forget the size of the height that we mentioned, 44.31. Because the reason why you're building on Figma or building on Framer is because we want something pixel perfect, right? So that's that. Then we're looking at container at the top, a padding at the top, right? So we're going to do this for our desktop. We're going to say we want padding, but we want it at the top. Let's go inside our Figma and see the padding at the top. What's the difference between this guy and the 50.62? So come here and say our padding at the top is 50.62, right? Then what's also the corner radius of this? Corner radius is 12.66. So come here and say 12.66 is what we add, right? Then what else? What's the size? You might not really get the actual length or the width, but this is 760.92, because depending on what we're using as our padding is what determines what that would be. So for the sake of this, we'll say our padding, because we're going to use grid layouts to here, right? Because we're going to do grid lines, and grid lines, just like I mentioned in my other tutorial. So we'll say the width is this, our margins, let's put this together here. Then we have 12, then we have our margins to be 120, let's say 150, so that you look so close to what we had on Figma. So now we're now going to use our grid to do the measurements of this guy, right? So now we move on to the next, which is the colors that we have. So now see the color that our background has, our navigation background has, see the fill. This color, I'll just copy this color code and give it 10% opacity, right? I'll just come to fill, paste my color inside, then give it a 10% opacity so that I don't have to think too much, right? Then now let me come here and maybe reduce the color of this guy a little bit so that it doesn't give us too much thoughts, right? So this is the color. Can you see that the color is already looking familiar to what we currently have on Figma, right? So now see this. Then I think we already downloaded our logo already, so we'll just come here and import our logo. We'll just insert, or come here and come to file and upload image. So you come to image, and I think we already have our logo container SVG. You can create a file for all your assets though. Sometimes you can do that, but for the sake of this tutorial, I didn't plan to do that, so that's why I didn't do it. Can you see? So this is my SVG. Right, can you see? This is my SVG, and I can move it wherever that I want to. I can take it out and I can put it inside. Can you see? So this is how this looks right now. So now my frame, this is it. I can put this in. So now I can just do layout. Right, immediately I do layouts, you see that it's going to find it on stack, right? Then it's going to be stacked together. Now it's already at the center because this is aligned to be at the center. If I move it like this, see where they go. If I say start from the beginning, it's going to go to the beginning to go and stack. Then I can give you a padding. So let's see the padding that we have inside of Figma. And the padding that we have for this is 6.3, 6.3. So let's go inside of here and say 6.3, 6.3. Okay, around, but I'm not sure that's perfect because it's not looking so closely because of the screen size that we have on Figma. The screen size we have on Figma is a little bit smaller, so we might want to increase this to like 20 or 32. But we're not doing the same size for everybody. We're just doing for the left and right. Let's see, 12, not 0, but let's say 16. I'm just trying to see. So I think this is perfect. Try on. Then we come here and say about us and this guy. So let me just copy all this text and come inside here and paste so that I have something to write, so I don't have to think too much. So I just come to text here and I content. Immediately I have this, I have then I'll move right after home. So let me just create one proper text. I think the text that we got from Figma is 16. Right, 16. I don't know why this is. Let me see. Let me see the text here. Let's say it's 11.07. Spacing is -2 and line height is 19. So text is 11. I don't know what the line height here is. Line height is 19. So we'll be using, I think Figma uses pixel. So we'll be using pixel. That's 16 pixel line height. Then -2% here for letter space. So say -2%. But I think this is too much. It's not even getting percentage. So let's say -2, but pixel is too much. So we just convert it, sure. So convert it to -0.02. So now then we change our color to white. It's supposed to be white color, and the text is regular. Then we have let's duplicate. That's Control D. Then we say about us. Then the next we say pricing. Then we say blog. Then we say integration. Then we say FAQ. Then I think there is contact us. So this is that. Then we'll put all of them inside their own container. That is the beauty of Framer. So give all of them their own. What I did was I gave them more like a stack, a layout, right? Then I said fill. I could just fit content and do this so that we'll just have to do distance. We just have to do gap between all of them, right? Then we'll just make sure that we increase the gap between these guys. So the next thing we have from our, here's the latest one that is inside. So the next thing we have from our Figma is the login. Right, so let's check the space between our guys inside of it. They said 31 point something, 31.64. I might just copy this and go inside here and let's see if it makes sense inside of Framer, right? So this is 20, they said 30 something. So let's see the space. It's not bad, but let's just continue because I think this our screen is a little bit bigger than theirs, so it might be a little bit of discrepancies. So now the next thing we do is creating our button. So let's create our button. Let's look for what's the size of the button again. So we're creating our button. What's the font size? The same font size. Okay. Then what's the padding? 9.49 left and right. Let's just say 10. So we're creating our button. Let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this and bring outside so that I don't need to type again. So the button says login, right? Then I'm going to create an auto layout around it, which is Control or Shift A, or create a layout around it. Then the padding is 10. Then it's going to be fit content, a top and bottom. Then we're going to give it a, I think even the top guy is a little bit 6 point something. So we'll give our top and bottom, let's say 5.5. So we'll just make sure that this is white. The text, the fill is white. Then the corner radius of the button, let's check 6.29. So 6.29, right? It's already coming together, right? It's just to change the color of our button to the black color that we want, right? Then I think the button here should be a little bit thicker than this guy. So now this is what our navigation looks like, but it's not still balanced, so we need to make sure that we do space between. I think I already explained this in my first video for the guys that are just getting started. So space between means that you're literally saying, you know what, for the container you guys are going as much as you can go and there's enough space in between you guys, right? So that's like the simple explanation I can give. So now you see that right and left you have padding of 32, but I'm not feeling it compared to what we have here. It's not far-fetched at all. So let's see what we can do with this, guys. Let's reduce it to 16 to let's see what we can get. So not really bad, actually not bad if you look at it. Then you see that automatically on the left and the right the mobile also are already coming together, but we'll get to that place soon. Let's get to that place soon. So now we have our guys. Let's say this one is already sorted. So for us to now convert it to the mobile, to the tablet version of the hero section or of the navigation, that will come later in as we proceed, right? So don't let us stress ourselves on that yet. So let's come into this angle of work. So what have we done and what else are we looking at? So I think this blur is coming out too much, so let's just turn it down. But now we have our background. Or let's first start with our hero section, the let me say the hero section with our text first. So our hero text. So you see that our text is 50.62. It's a copy, right? Then what do we do next? We come inside our text, right? And we do this. We want to type, right? This is everything that we have. Then we look at, I don't know why we have our text looking down like that. Oh yeah. So now we come here and remove this and look for inter. Then inter bold. I think it was bold that is inside of Figma, right? Semi-bold rather. So say semi-bold. Then we have our size, right, to be, where's the size again? We have our size here to be 50.6 something, I don't know, 50.69 or so. Let me check again and confirm. 62. So 50.62, right? So now then you see that the text here is broken into two. So we'll do, since we're not doing like edge to edge, so we'll do the fig or something that we can break in to grow. So we can break them like this. I taught this in the last video about Figma, so we can do this. So now you see that the spacing between our text, you see the text here, see letter spacing -4% and line 97. So let's check this and adjust the line height. So it's always in pixel, we'll say 57 because it's Figma. Then our color is supposed to be white, but I think the white that is in our color is, I think he has like a gradient. So let's check in the gradient and see what it did. I don't want to detach, but I think I need to do that right now. So let me just detach and see. So we have a color here. Can you see it? This color is here at the bottom. Then you can also do gradients inside of Framer. So there's a color here. I think see the color. Then you can choose where you want the color to stay. See, can you see? Then you can switch in the colors to like this or like that. So now we have at the bottom or no, at the bottom here we have, this is black. This is black. I don't know why it's carrying that color. Can you see now? Then we have at the top here, what do we have? We have the FF. Can you see this and this and white? So what we just need to do is make sure that our color is not far-fetched, right? Then again, that is number one. I'm looking at it and is it looking alike, still coming together. So then we now have this our top guy that's here. So we'll download this guys as SVGs, right? So that we don't just waste our time and be doing plenty things. So we just export as not PNG. Let's do SVG. Let me see how it's gonna come out. And we can also this and say sample human so that we can get something out. Then here I'll just copy the text and move. So let's go inside here and import our design. So let's come here and upload image, right? And we just sample this, right? Say it's larger. So let me not use, let's just use PNG. I think this is large, too large, and I'm not on a paid file. So let's just use PNG, but a higher PNG that makes a lot of sense. Right, so I'll just export this. Say sample human SVG. So if I come here now, I can do this. So I'll just come here now and do file, and I can upload my image. So this is the guy. So now you can see that my image is here already, right? And I can decide to do with whatever I want to do, right? I don't know why it's like this. Maybe we need to get a more clearer one. Let's go back and export ×4. So can export ×4. Let's come here and upload our image, right? And we say this PNG today ×4. So it's a little bit clearer compared to what we had before. I could have just done this on one by one, but for this, I don't want the video to be so long. That's why I'm not doing all those little detail. I just wanted you guys to see so much stuff and not get bored at the same time. So now I'm going to create another layout. So I'm going to add a frame here. So I'm adding a frame. This is a frame, and I'm using the same color that I have here as a frame. Or let me just duplicate it instead of saying I'm using another frame. Let me just duplicate it. Then I'll just have to take out a couple things, but I'll paste this guy inside, and I'll remove the buttons, logo, all of these guys. I remove everything, right? Then I would reduce this a little. Then I'll take this out, right? I'll take this guy out. Then what do I need again? I have something here that I can use. So now this is too long, so we'll reduce it because that's not the. Let's check the Figma design. Let's see. On the Figma design, we have what's the length of the width right now. So we have this. Let me just copy and paste inside of the width. Then what's the write-up that we have inside of here? Level up your Web3 game. So come here and I paste that same word inside of here. Then I look for the color. You have to be very particular about what you're doing. So this is the color. Come back in here and I build and I add the color to it, right? Then what's the next thing to do? The next thing to do is to come here and add join free webinar, right? Copy and just go inside your design and paste, right? So we're good to some extent. We just need to change our color to white, then maybe increase our text to this, then the same size actually. Then we now have this guys already inside of our design. So here we can these two guys are together, so I can remove them and I can initially separate them so that they don't be in the same container. Then I'll break this guy down. Then I can space between. If there's not enough space, see, if there's enough space, it's gonna work. Then I can now look for my icon. So I think on Framer we also have access to icon. So let's go to our, I don't know why the Framer is glitching. We can go to plugins and browse all plugins. I'll just look for icons. Let me look for icon. Verify an icon. I'll just say I need a chevron icon, something like this. So I'll just drop it inside. Then I give it a color. For those that don't know, that icon is called chevron. Some people call it arrow, depending on the icon pack you'll be using. Then here I've done space in between, so I can decide to, let's check this. I think we're good. I can just decide to reduce the icon size just a little bit. Then we are good. So the only difference or the only thing here is I think we need to have a more smaller radius across board. 12, I think 12, why is it 20? So yeah, this is fine. So we have this guy at the top and this guy, so we can come them together and make them a layout, right? We can create a layout for them, or we can put them in an auto layout together so that we can now start having distances between our sections. So now, can you see that it's already coming together, right? We already have this here and we already have this on our mobile. So now, one other thing we're going to do is this. If I go here, you see how big the text is. I think we'll just augment it and increase our text and make it a lot bigger so that it matches our own text. So we'll just do something like this. Then I think our line height will have to increase a bit more compared to what it was before, right? So this is fine. So now, what's the next thing that we should do? What's the next thing that we should do? What's the next thing that we should do? Then yeah, we have our body text. So let's copy a text from here and drop. I'm just gonna drop that inside and drop that inside this container. I don't want to be creating again, that's why. So what's the size of this text? 12.66. So let's do the same thing here, add our 12.66, and then we'll drop this. Where's our actual text? Let's copy the text and we paste it inside of here. So now we are able to do this. Really simple. Then let's see how we broke the text here from no. Okay, so here we have our text here. Then you remember what I said, I can't break this into anything until I do this to the go. So here I can break, and you can break as much as you want. So then I can set the center, and I think this is good, fitting what we want. So you just say fit content, or you say fixed, so that it's adjusting at every point in time. Then what about the spacing? I think 22.1 spacing line, so 22.1. So we are almost done. So before we move to our buttons, right, you see that this thing is already coming together, and I think our linear guy is not so nice, but then we'll look at the spacing between our arrow section text, the spacing also, this is 57, then the spacing between them also, I think there's a gap of 10 between the two of them. So yeah, 10 is not bad. Let's say 12. Then we now have all right, so this is cool. So now we're already getting there, right? It's just that we don't have our what do you call it now? We don't have our light beams yet. So that it gets exciting, let's quickly export our light beam. So this is one of our light beams. You can see, then I would say I want to export at 4. Then I would say I want to export SVG. But this is what the light beam looks like. So just export the light beam and we first do this. So when we come back inside of here, I don't know why there's a bug on that page. You see, I'm not able to click my frame out. These guys are jokers. So I can upload my image and say where's my light beam, 3KB, and when it comes inside, see what it looks like as an SVG, which is what I don't like. So we'll go back here and export it as a PNG, but a very high quality PNG, right? Very high quality PNG. It would have been really nice if I was able to import my design from Figma directly, but I honestly don't know why that didn't work today. So, but I need to record this video regardless, so I just have to continue. But yeah, there's always a way to attend to uploading your designs into Framer. So I think the light beam is a PNG 6.2 MB. I think that's too large, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I think I would upload it regardless, just to show you how it's been, how you can fix it inside of Framer. So now it's been uploaded already. Can you see that's been uploaded and see how it looks? So now I have this and I can say fill. If I say fill now, how does it look inside of the design? Okay, so I need it to be at the top, but right now you see that all of our guys are stacking, because after this, after this, so they're stacking based on what we've done here, right? If I go like this, everything will move away. Can you see? So they're all stacking. If I just click on this external guy and go to this way, all of them will scatter, right? But they're stacking. So the beam is at the bottom. But how do we solve this problem? How do we put the beam at the back of this so that it glows out and make our design look very nice? All we're supposed to do is just come to position and say absolute. Absolute is literally, you can move your design anywhere inside of your app or your website, right? Then you can send it to the back. Can you see that already? So now the image is at the back already, but it's absolute, but it's at the front, and I don't want that to happen. So let me go back. I think he entered inside that bigger frame. Let me close all this stack. Then I come here, I put this guy here, then I have my, can you see my light beam? So this is what my light beam looks like right now. And can you see the way it is at the back of this guy? So now how do we make our, now that we're already in our stack and we want to be able to like do things inside of our stack, can you see? But it looks like this guy is still at the top of our design, so we'll just lock it. Yay! Sorry. I'll be the record video. I will just pause on. No, I just want to check now. I came on. Oh, okay. Hope say the system they work. Yeah, they work properly. All right, now chef. So we need to send this guy to the back, right? So we have our stack, we have this guy here. So let's see. We're not putting inside, we're putting it outside. Can you see? So now, are we able to click on anything? No, because it's at the top. Also here, are we able to click on anything? Let's move it back to the top. Now it's back to, let's take it back to absolute, right? Then let's see if we are able to click on anything at all inside of our design. So it's here, and I think we'll just lock it so that we can have access to other things on this. So that is how you do. You just lock the beam, right? You lock it at the end and it shines in like this. So one thing we can use, you see that some of our text are not like coming out pretty well again because of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a way to take that beam a little bit higher. Then we're going to make sure that our let me lock it again so that it doesn't interfere with our work. So I'll just come here and add, I think there's an outline for our design. See the stroke, there's a stroke here and there's a background blur effect for this background. So let's look for what we can do. There's a background blur also, so let's come to stroke. Let's copy the stroke is 10. We'll come here and do stroke. Let's say border, right? Then on the border we add this here, then we say 10%, right? 10% like this, so that it's becoming more solid. Then we can now look for effect. I think what they did was here, what they did was a background blur and the uniform blur, so for the 4.29. So let's see if we can get the same effect inside of Framer. So there is a blur. I don't know what color that is, but it didn't come with the color actually, it just came. So let's see what the blur would look like, right? No, it's the inside of, it's supposed to be outside so that it becomes shiny and glowy. Can you see? So if I do darker, if I do whiter, so that the text can come out a little more. So if I still look into it, maybe there still be a way to like make sure that this guy is coming and look really good. So that's right, really good. Then we can come here, and next thing we're going to do is to have our buttons, right? You see, we already have this thing sorted, then our image, then our buttons. So let's do our buttons first. You see the way the button is? The button has like, I don't know, it has like a couple things. It looks like a 3D button. So let's just find a way around it and get started. So come here, we're supposed to create a button automatically. So let's come for our text. Let's say get started. That's what our button would say. Then we have our text. So let's put our button inside an auto layout. Right, our text is done already. Then let's say fit content. Then just looking at my text here, I'm looking at the line height. So the line height is not supposed to be so big like this. It's supposed to be smaller, like 11 thereabout. Supposed to be smaller, way smaller. So then we already have our stack around it. So all we're just supposed to do is, let me check the padding around this button so that we know what we're looking at. Then let's see the line height also 22.1. So line height here is supposed to be 22.1, 22. Let's just say 22, right? Then we come to our button here and we say what's the padding size? Padding size is 19.18 and 19. So on the other end, if you come to our stack today, that's where you can add your padding. So we're going to break it into bits. So we say top to bottom. Top and bottom is 99. Then we say our right and left is 18, 18. Said 18, 18, 18. So this is what it looks like, right? Then we can add our color. So I think the color we're using here is purple. So let me first pick this purple. See this? Then I'll come here and paste the color here. So this is the number one color. And how do we do this? We come to our stack here. Let's call it button. You can rename your stack. We just call it button. Then we move it, then we send it into this, then while we continue back to selecting our guys here. So excuse me. So let's just get started. You see that the button is not looking anything like what we have here. Excuse me. So we have get started, and the button is looking a little bit 3D-ish. So how do we get this? How do we get it sorted? How do we actually get it sorted? So it's possible. It's really possible. I know a lot of you are thinking already, how do we get this sorted inside of Framer? It's very possible. It's just for you to be able to know how to use your shadows properly, and you will get it right. So first of all, the corner radius here is 8. So let's just go back to Framer and add a corner radius of 8 so that at least it looks like what we're planning to do, right? Then the next thing we'll do is go to our shadows, right? We'll create our shadows. And you know that we have like 2 different colors inside of this button. We have like, see, almost three colors even. So, and when you come inside, we would say, what is our color? What's the color that we have here? If you come inside of here, see, let's just be inspecting the colors properly. So you see the drop shadows, see, linear. The stroke is linear. They have like a white stroke up and down. Can you see? So if I come here and say I want to create a stroke, I can say I'm creating 2010. So I'll just create a stroke for this, which is like a border, and I'll say no, I want a gradient. I don't want it. I want solid here color. Then am I able to add a gradient inside of this stroke? Nah, I'm not sure that's available yet, because if it's available we'll be able to do that. But let's just use a very fainted color so that it doesn't dampen our energy. So we just look for that color that is almost blending with purple. Can you see? That's the first step, right? Second step is, I think there's a background shadow. So that's drop down shadow. Can you see? There's a drop down shadow of this guy. So let me first copy this, right? And just come here and I'll paste. So I'll come to border. I'll add my color inside here, right? Number one. Then I'll go back outside. Then what's the percentage? The percentage is quite high though, so that it doesn't just, percentage is quite high. So I think 100. Then we'll say y to be 10. And then we'll say that we'll make it a realistic one. Let's make it a realistic one. Then let's put it outside, and let's say our focus is 0.5. Our diffusion is, let's say, 0.35, right? You can't really see so much, but let's just have it in mind like that. Then we'll now create another one again. I think we need to create another one. Add another shadow again. We'll call it box. Then at the record video, our guy just cut down, baby. What's happened? You don't drop now. So if we come out like this, she yeah. Me ready. Me pa video in here. Let's go. You know the house. I said, you know, for my mind this afternoon. I don't think I'm seeing more. It seems I was on enter now. Box. So now tomorrow morning like this. I'm coming by. No, my sister is not. Anybody want to see? In fact, next time I move 7 hours, no, until I talk, it was supposed for December 35 like this. December 65. I think we'll show our what 2016. So we'll create like box shadow here, and what we have next is our box here. So we say box shadow. Then it's still going to be outside. Then we'll say the color also is the same color that we want here, but a little bit of tweak to it, right? We'll just say we have our x, our y as at 0, because if we do realistic, or if you do box, your parameters will be a little bit different. So then our spread, our block will be 0. Then our spread will be 1, right? But we need this to be 100%. All right. So now next thing to do again is to add another one. So we would look for we're just trying to get the how do I want to say it now? We're trying to get the actual guy. We're just trying to make this a little bit realistic, right? So we'll use this thing again. We'll use this color, right? Then would use, since it's 100% already, we'll give it inside shadow, and it's going to be boxed. Then we'll have this sorted. We just say 0, guys. Then we'll have our blur to be like this, but hold on a bit. Then we'll create another one. So we'll say, let's go back inside and see something, because we actually have a couple of things happening here. Can you see? Inside shadow, black shadow, that is here, background blur. Let me remove the ones that I've done. So yeah, we have this. So can you see? Drop shadow, 12 point something, blur, this, that. So let's try one more stuff again. Let's see how this will turn out. Or let's see if we can get gradient of this, so that at least our design start looking like what we got. Right, so we have this, and then we need to have another color. So we'll be using the 190D5E as our guy, right? Then we'll go back inside and increase this to 100%, right? Then we would go back inside of here, and we'll make it realistic. Then we'll say we'll have our x to be 20, and our x is -20, rather, -20. Maybe in another video I'll create a proper video on how to create this, but right now I don't just want to waste so much of our time trying to do this. So 0.25 and 0.45 here. So this is one. I think we'll be creating another one again. We'll just create it and copy or duplicate. Let's just duplicate. So yeah, we'll just say the x here is 7 and the y here is 8, and our diffusion is 0.15 and the f is 0.45. So the reason why it didn't really show before was because we were zoomed out, but I don't know if you can see something right now. When I zoomed in a little bit, you see that it's already coming out really good, right? But before, when we were doing it from afar, or when I zoomed in, it took out the shadows and stuff, but you see that it looks almost closer to what we have here, right? So if not the same thing, but it looks really close. Then what I just need to do next is create another category, create another this, then make them side by side and fit the content. So when I fit the content, all I just need to do here is to make sure that all my colors here are black. So I just need to come here and choose a particular type of black. So I'll choose so we'll start from the fill. So the fill is supposed to be a particular type of black. So let's do the black that is here, and let's do a little bit of soft black. Then all these other guys are gonna be literally just colors. Let's have like a softer black. Let's choose another soft black again. Then this one is going to be like a very soft black. Then the realistic one again is going to be another black. Then since this is the same, we'll just look for the same color that we used here. This 22222. Just copy it and paste inside of here. Right. Then the white solid color would need to like reduce a bit so that it doesn't just fall off. Right. Then alright, so that's not bad at all. Let's just see what's the text on it. Learn more. Learn more. So now this is a sample, right? And the reason why we have that background here is because, or we have this background here that's looking like because of the shadows. So we can do something where we can kind of give the buttons their own container or their own paddings so that they don't literally just creep into or make the environment of the button look some type of way. So see, the more you give them the container, the more they come out. So now what I'm going to do is this. Let me do this. So we'll come here, we'll remove the stack, right, so that the buttons can come properly. Can you see that they look a little bit better without them being in a container, right? So we're going to give them that same space so that they are able to like enjoy and see what it is. So putting them in an auto layout and spreading them like this is giving them that. Can you see something? They are boxed. So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm not going to wrap. I'm not going to clip them. Like I'll allow them to overflow. So visible, right? I'll allow them to overflow. Overflow hidden. This one cleans up the entire design, and you probably not see that guy again. But overflow visible, can you see? But when I zoom in, it's not there. But when I zoom out, I'm seeing a little bit of cutout, which I'm not liking. So let's just see what we can do again with this. Let's fit content. Let's look at our overflow again so that it doesn't just cut out. So that when I zoom in, it looks really good. So I think it's just maybe my system doing this, but let's go in again. Let's see the space we gave it from here. So so there's a padding of 24 on both sides. So this guy is separate, this guy is separate. So now we have we need a gap of 24 on both sides. How about here? We need a padding of 24 also right here. So am I sure this is 24? Wow, 24 here is totally different from 24 for real, man. Like this is, let me see, let me remove the stack that is here and just come in directly and see 24, and it's looking like it's not 24 at all. All right, so 24 here, right, we're good. Then what else are we looking at again? So we're looking at our images, right? So if you already look at this, you see that it's already coming together pretty good, right? But it's not responsive on this side, so we'll still come back there. We're just doing this guys first. So the next thing to pull up is the images, right? So this image, we're gonna have to export it, but on a very high scale, right? So that it doesn't, and now we have to be very careful on the exporting so that it doesn't give us so much gigs, like, because if you're exporting it in a very high scale, because they're 3Ds and they are quite like they're quite big and be large in size, but let's see how much of space it's going to eat. So if we come here, we go to files, we upload the image. So now we have this. I think this is not large to do. So this is 95. So automatically we're done, right? We just come here and stack this here. So come inside of this frame and stack it. So there's a space here, and how much space do we have away from our contents that we used? So here is the frame, and here is this guy, so almost 50. So let's just say 50 space. So we'll just select the two of them together and put them in one space and say we're looking for 50 spacing, right? But 50 enough, 50 is okay though. So it's already looking really close to what we have inside of our design. The last part of it is just to export this guy, right, and put it up as a PNG. So we might just have to export it as maybe 3x so that it comes out really good and it doesn't look blurry. So I'll say light beam 2 instead of light beam 1. So I'll call it 2. Then I drop it inside of, yeah, so I'll just come here, come to Framer, come to file, upload images, right? Then I have light beam 2. Where's my light beam 2? Light beam 2 is 2.6 MB. The other one was like a 6 MB thingy, I guess. So now it's already down here. Remember what we did in the last time? it said absolute, right? So click on absolute, you're able to move it around wherever you want. So right now I'll be able to move it here. There's also something we call like indexing. So that's one thing I would also like to mention. So now let's just send this guy to the back, but we'll have to look at the index, the Z index. So now I'm not sure I mentioned that in my first video, but in this video we'll also, like, let me just quickly mention that there's something called Z index. Z index 1, 2, like it's like layers. If you say layers, you get it's like layers. Something is on top of something. So if somebody say Z index 1 and you're trying to put something on Z index 1 and you're putting it as 1, they will just be on the same line. So now that is what is happening here. So for my light beam, if I lock it now, I can put this guy. If I put it as 1, you see -1 is not showing at all. 2 is 1 is ahead of this image. 3 is I stay ahead of this image. If I send it back to 0, this image is going to automatically be in front of it. So that is how that should work actually, right? Then we can now select this guy as stacks. I think there's already a stack around it before now. So the crypto image, and we have it together as a stack so that we can bring them as 50. Let's even say like 50 something so that we have a proper image. Let's say 80. Now, I think the light is already giving my button some weird colors. So I'll just send it down a little bit. Then find a way to increase my desktop size to fit fixed so I can adjust it by myself. Then I can move my guy a little as much as I want. So now this is sorted. I can just play now and show you how this will look like on any website, right? On any laptop. And it's scrolly because of this. See, can you see? So now this is what it looks like. But I don't like what this button edge looks like. I'll have to look into that again, right? Because I don't want anything. If I clip it to, it's weird. If I hide it to, it's still weird. And make it visible, it's still weird. So I don't know. I think I would probably just need to give you a padding or something to make it give me chance, give me space to show my design, right? So I'll just want to give it too much space so that it means that the space between this guy will go off since I've already eaten that space from here. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but the space will go off. The space between the space here would need to go off because I'll be using that space here so that it doesn't just mess up my design. Then here I would return this one back because I'll need to give the space that is here. That means I'll have to join the two of them together. Not just the two of them. This guys, I'll have to join them together and give my actual space to this guy, which is 24. Right. So now that is how that works. So we move on to the next, which is the mobile screens, right? So I would not be doing because this video is already very long, so I would not be doing the navigations today for the mobile and the tablet, but I would just quickly create something so that we can see. So here, this is what the web will look like. Let's go back again and play it and see. It should look way better now. All right, so this is what it looks like, and the button looks 3D-ish. The design looks like it should look, and this is Framer basically. Then you can now decide to do your animations and all that stuff, right? If you see the design, see the Figma design, see the actual design, right? Maybe a little bit of color difference, but not so much, maybe because of the buttons that we're rushing to make. But we can also always attend to this at any point in time when it's relaxed, right? Don't take as much time as you want. So now let's show and go to the mobile because we mentioned that we're going to do that today. So for the tablet, you can see that our screen is already, so number one thing that we should do is we would make sure that we should have set our text down already for each of the screens. But because of while rushing for just to explain on stuff, you should always create your design, your text style. So I'll just go there and select tablet and stuff. But because we didn't do that, I'll just come here and reduce my font size to the one that will fit down, that will not just look really weird. And again, break my text down to a proper size, then adjust my line height to fit what I want, right? And also, you can still do this because it's a tablet. So then also you can have your margin as much as you want to have your margin. Then here your images should also fit. They also fill the container and fit. But most times I like to reduce them a little bit, right, to follow. Then this icon, this text guy that is here, can also be a little bit. Maybe if you want it to be taller, you can make it to be taller. You can expand it so that it gives you the vibe that we got from the other guys from here, right? Then yeah, so you just come here and also adjust. If that's a big deal on your end, you can also come here and adjust. Then the same thing for mobile, you can just come here and do your adjust your text. So I just come here and do this. Most times your text on the mobile should not be more than 32, depending on the text on the font you are using though. Then your line height too should not be that bad at all. So we come here, because we can break in text and do something like this, then we reduce our line height. Then if we feel like our text should be bigger, then we can always break that into as much sequence as we want, Then also this, or just make sure that this other part of it. Then here we are going to remove some things, right? We just remove some things and make sure that some of these guys are following. So we remove some of these guys and adjust it, because mobile responsiveness most times is just always following some patterns. So if I come here fill, then I can just give a padding if I want. I can say padding, what's my padding for mobile? Let's say 20. So I can do this, right, and I'm good. Then if I decide to say, oh, I want my guy to still be at the top like this, so there's always a gap around, so you can move this to the top a little because it's mobile, and you reduce your coin size. Maybe if there's another way you did it or you designed, you can always work with it and make sure that your design comes out really well. Then your image, you can still play around with it if you decide, or if you want to. It's just for you to be able to move things around. You just know that your hero section stops somewhere here, right? So you just know that your hero section stops somewhere here, and all your designs still remain intact, following what you have, right? So we just know that this is web and this is mobile. So if you go and test now and do this, if you do full screen, can you see? Then if I come to mobile desktop, can you see? Then if you say phone, this is what it looks like on the mobile phone. So can you see? Can you see the way the text and the images are reducing each other, right? So now, when I was talking about the mobile, right, the navigation for the mobile. So one thing we'll do is, for us to be able to achieve that, we need to make this stack a component. I'll just do is select this and create a component. It opens up a new page. I'll just say navigation. So it automatically see it created for everybody. But in the next video, I'll be showing us the things that we can do to make or how to literally do this mobile screens, and also the tablet screens, right, and how to make the navigation really good. So can you see? So this is what it's going to look like. So if I go and play my design now and play it, right, all I'll just have is the same thing. I will just be able to switch my phone. Can you see? And I'm able to switch. So I don't know why this guy is misbehaving, but in the next video I would properly design how to, I don't know, see, it's 3 here. I don't know why it's showing. It's just something wrong with this one. There's a problem with that guy. Okay, so but in the next video I would properly look into how to design, or how to walk around the navigations across different views, right? Can you see that? So we have tablet, phone, tablet, phone, tablet, and phone. So basically you're going to be able to design something like this pretty easily, right, using Figma literally, and you'll be able to mod, right? So I guess that will be the end of the video. If you learned a lot on the video, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.